The Denver Broncos are making moves. They're actively looking to trade up in the upcoming NFL draft. According to insider Adam Schefter, Sean Payton believes Bo Nix could be the answer, and with the team's potential window wide open, now might be the perfect time to strike. But who exactly are the Broncos targeting? In this video, we'll break down what it would cost to trade up 5, 10, or even 15 spots based on draft day trades from the past decade. And surprisingly, it might not be Ashton Jeanty they're going after, despite what many fans assume. Schefter, who's extremely plugged into the Broncos organization, recently reported that Denver is exploring all options. While he didn't say the team is locked in on trading up or back, he made it clear that conversations are getting serious, especially as draft week heats up. Now, many fans are pointing to Ashton Jeanty as the likely target, but what if it's not him? Let's also look at the teams reportedly open to trading back. The Jaguars at pick 5, the Panthers at 8, the 49ers at 11, the Falcons at 15, the Seahawks at 18, and the Buccaneers at 19. These are all potential trade partners if Denver wants to move up the board. If the Broncos truly want Jeanty, they may need to get as high as pick 5. But here's something to consider. Every year, we underestimate how early quarterbacks go. Just like last year, mock drafts had players like J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr., and Bo Nix falling into the 20s. Instead, 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first 12 picks. Now there's growing buzz around Jackson Dart, and it seems very real. Quarterbacks rise fast and often faster than expected. Jalen Milroe will be attending the NFL draft in person, and he's not going to Green Bay just to wait around. That usually signals one thing. He's expected to be picked earlier than most people think. There's also growing buzz around Louisville's quarterback, Tyler Show. Some scouts are even suggesting he might be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire class. Whether or not that's true, the hype around this QB group is real. At minimum, we could see 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And if there's a run on QBs early, that could push a player like Ashton Jeanty much further down the board, possibly beyond pick number 5. So maybe the Broncos don't have to trade all the way up to pick 5 to get him. But let's look at what it would cost if they did. To move up to pick 5, they'd be negotiating with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars already have Travis Etienne in the backfield, a new head coach, and several roster holes to address. They're likely more focused on a rebuild than adding a high-profile running back. Trading down could make a lot of sense for them. Now, trading from pick 20 to pick 5 means moving up 15 spots. That's a steep climb. So what does history tell us about the price tag? In 2016, the Rams traded up 15 spots with the Titans to select Jared Goff. That move cost them 2 second-rounders, a third-round pick, and future first and third-round picks. That's the kind of deal that helped the Lions build the strong roster they have today. Then there's the 2017 Chiefs move to get Patrick Mahomes. They went from pick 27 to 10 by giving the Bills a third-round pick and a future first. Safe to say, that trade paid off for Kansas City. A more moderate example, in 2018, the Saints moved up 13 spots, from 27 to 14, to draft Marcus Davenport. They gave up a future first-round pick and a fifth-rounder to make it happen. So if Denver wants to move up 15 spots, it would likely cost next year's first-round pick, plus either a second-rounder this year or next. That's a huge price to pay. Broncos general manager George Payton has said he's more confident in this draft class than any since arriving in Denver. If that's true, he should want as many picks as possible to work with, not give them away. If Ashton Jeanty is truly going off the board by pick 5, it might be better to let him go. But if he slips a bit, say to pick 9 when the Panthers are on the clock, it becomes a very different conversation. In that case, the Broncos would only need to move up 11 spots, possibly jumping ahead of a team like the Bears. The cost could be much more manageable. Let's take a look at some past trades that might give us a clearer picture of what it could cost the Broncos to move up. For example, when the Steelers traded up to draft Devin Bush, they made a deal with the Broncos. In that trade, Pittsburgh swapped first-round picks, gave up a second-rounder, and added a third-round pick in the following year. That's a realistic framework Denver could follow, giving up a pick this year and a future third-rounder. And here's something to consider. Denver could end up with a compensatory third-round pick if players like Zach Allen, Jonathan Cooper, or Nick Bonito leave in free agency and sign big contracts elsewhere. That would help offset the cost of a future third rounder. Still, the big question remains, is giving up a future first and a second or third for Ashton Jeanty really worth it? Especially if a player like Omarion Hampton is still on the board. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. If Jeanty falls into the range of picks 13 to 15, and let's say teams like the Cowboys or Bears pass on him, then it's a much easier move for Denver. Several teams like the Falcons at pick 15 have shown interest in trading back. To move up just a few spots, Denver might only need to give up something like 2 fourth-round picks, similar to what we've seen in past trades like the Packers deal to land Darnell Savage or the Bears jump to grab Justin Fields, though that one also included a future first. Generally, you're looking at a second and a third round pick or 2 future third rounders to move into that mid-first round range. If those picks are from future drafts, it becomes much easier to justify. George Payton has already said he's confident in this year's draft class, and if the Broncos really believe they're in a Super Bowl window with Bo Nix, then giving up a future second or third, especially if it ends up being a late round pick, might be well worth it. The real debate is how far the team should be willing to move up for Ashton Jeanty, if at all. But here's a twist. Some reports suggest this trade-up talk might not even be about Jeanty. According to several Broncos insiders, including new Denver Post writer Luca Evans, the team has shown continued interest in Audric Estime. They've reportedly told him they still see him as a key part of the future. In fact, Sean Payton had Estime graded multiple rounds higher than where he was drafted and trusted him as the lead back during that big win over Kansas City. Even though Estime was a healthy scratch against Buffalo late in the season, the team still seems confident in his potential. There's a real possibility that the Broncos are confident in Audric Estime and are simply looking to add a complementary back, a change of pace player like Dylan Laub or maybe even Bucky Irving, someone who could be available around pick 20. But this trade-up buzz might not even be about a running back. Sean Payton could be eyeing someone like Colson Loveland, the talented tight end, or Tyler Warren. Maybe it's a defensive tackle like Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. There are multiple directions Denver could go. One thing's for sure, the excitement around the Broncos is building fast. Despite some negativity in the media, like Nick Wright doubting Denver's future, more informed analysts are giving this team real respect. An ESPN Power ranking recently placed the Broncos at number 11. Meanwhile, some fantasy football projections have Bo Nix ranked as the 6th best quarterback in the league, above both starting QBs from other teams in the division. That's a massive jump. If Bo Nix continues to play at a high level and with Denver's dominant defense, featuring stars like Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, this team has real potential. Add in a reliable target over the middle like Evan Engram, and it's clear this offense is more balanced than it's been in years. And the praise doesn't stop there. Pro Football Focus, one of the most trusted analytical sources in football, ranked the Broncos 9th overall heading into the season. That's not just playoff territory, that's contender status. Whether or not the Broncos land Ashton Jeanty, the message is clear. This team is close. Sean Payton knows the window is wide open and he's prepared to make the aggressive move that could push this roster into Super Bowl contention. This could be the moment that changes everything for Denver.